Hey there, sports fans and car enthusiasts. Welcome to the channel. It is part 2 of our pre-SGC submission guesses. I'm here with my buddy JD. JD, say hello.
Hello, everybody.
And if you didn't see our first one for our low to mid-grade opportunities, definitely check out that video. But we're going to hop into this right now. We got another 12 cards here of what I'm going to consider our mid to higher grade potentials here. Here's our checklist. As you know, we're going to mark off our guesses for what we think. There's my grade column. There's Justin's grade column, and then we'll revisit this later when we get the cards back for our actual grade. Sorry, there's a little hair there. We'll get that off the screen there. But I'm excited to hop into this one. Look at these 12 cards. We're going to do that right now. Alrighty, folks. So, Justin, what do you think of our first video there with our low grade submissions? You think we're on track for that?
I think we're on track, and maybe even get some higher than expected grades in that one.
I hope so. Obviously, when we get to this one, when we get into higher grade potential, it gets a little bit trickier because we may see some things that others don't, or others see some things that we certainly don't. So it gets a little bit dicier when we get into higher grade ones, but I'm hoping that we get close to our expectations on this. So let's jump right in start with a 1959 Topps Brooks Robinson. Super clean card. There is one thing I'm a little worried about, this slight, almost like indent crease here, but I still think that I'm convinced that, this is going to grade at least a 5. I think, but I could be wrong. Justin, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I'm right there at a 5. Yeah, that issue you were talking about might bring it down to where we're at. I was a little higher on it before seeing that.
So let me see. I don't know if I can get closer to this and readjust the camera. Apologies for all the readjustments of the camera I'm going to do, folks, here. My camera is very finicky. But there is that issue there in the bottom left-hand corner, if you can see that. I know it's a little dark, but flip that way, you can see that indent there. That aside, it's a super clean card. Pretty decent corners. I'm really thinking 5, so I think we both agree. We're both expecting a 5 on that.
Yeah, I like 5 for that.
We could get disappointed on that, but I think we both agree that that's going to be a 5.
That's going to be a great looking card regardless of the grade, though.
Here's another great looking card. This is one of the sharpest cards in 1960 that I've ever seen, or that I've ever had in my possession. So beautiful, beautiful 1960 Gibby there. Super sharp corners there, and you guys can see that. It's a little off center left to right, but the centering is pretty nice all the way around, I think, on that. I think this could get as high as a 7. But, Justin, your expertise, let me know what you think of that one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. That sharp edges and corners and really no significant issues. I think a 7 would be great.
So are we agreeing again?
Sure.
7?
Yeah, I'm in there.
All right, we got to get some differences along the way, but I think right now we're pretty much in line here.
I was gonna slide down to a 6.5, but it's just.
Do you want to you want to go for the designated 6.5, or are you sticking with 7?
You can slide me to 6.5 just to give it a little different.
All right, 6.5, Justin, you might be right. Even at the 6.5, I'll take that. But 1966 Willie Sargent here. Again, apologies for all the constant adjustments I'm doing here. Really sharp, well centered all the way around, although maybe slight left to right centering. Top to bottom looks pretty good. Corners are super sharp on that. I'm thinking, that gets a 6, maybe a 6.5. But what do you think?
Yeah, it looks maybe slightly better than the Gibson, so I'm gonna have to say a 7.
You gonna say a 7? All right, I'm gonna go 6.5 on that. Justin's gonna go 7. That surface is super clean, so Justin might be right. So I say 6.5. Justin going a little bit higher and saying a 7. 1969 Topps Willie Mays. There's a little. No, actually not smudge. That's actually part of the photo, I think. Really, really nicely centered, sharp corners, except for maybe the tiniest nick on this bottom one down here. You guys can see that. Readjust again. Sorry, it gets a little dark when I get closer, but maybe you guys can see that, maybe not. I'll zoom back out. Justin, what do you think of that one?
I think it is a 5.5 with that centering.
5.5.
Love it.
I like that. I might go 6. I'm gonna go 6.
Nice.
Justin says 5.5.
Great centering. Those 69s are tough.
Speaking of tough, 1971 Topps, one of the toughest cards to grade. However, I've seen cards with nicks get high grades in this one. I think because both PSA and SGC are going to recognize this one is just with the black borders gets dinged. You can obviously see an obvious little nick on that side, but the corners are fairly well sharp. I'm thinking this is a 6.
I'll say 5.5.
5.5. I like it. Justin's gonna go 5.5. I'm gonna take the risk and swing and say that's a 6. All right, let's move to 1972 Topps football here. The juice is loose, folks. There he is. 1972 Topps O.J. Simpson. Super sharp card. Off center top to bottom, which might get dinged for that. But I'm writing a 7 wheelhouse on that. What do you think?
Think I'm closer to, I think, a 6.
Think a 6?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go 7. Justin's going 6. Moving on to basketball now. 78 Topps basketball. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. There he is, folks. This came out of a pack, and it's in really nice shape. Obviously, aside from being off-center left to right, but a lot of these cards were off-center left to right, so interesting to see how SGC grades this one. Corners are among the sharpest I've seen, but there's the back. No real noticeable, aside from the off-center left to right. Surface issues or dings on that. Justin, I'll let you go first on this one. What do you think is the grade on that one?
I'm going to say, unless they get mad about the centering on the front and the back, I like it as a 6.
As a 6? Okay. I kind of agree with that one, but I'm gonna go down slightly to 5.5.
Yeah, you might be right on that. They seem to be pretty harsh on centering sometimes.
They can be. Here's another one I'm not 100% sure about. I've seen these Fernando Valenzuela 1981 Topps cards. Let's see if I can readjust there, folks. Sorry for the... There we go. That might be a little better. I don't know. 1981 Topps Fernando Valenzuela cards. I've seen ones that have looked, in my opinion, worse than this get an 8. I don't know if that's an 8 or not. It's a little off center, but I'm thinking I might actually push to that. I don't know. What do you think of this one?
I really like the centering, and yeah, I can't see very many issues at all. 8s are tough to get though, so I'm gonna say 7.5.
7.5. All right, I'm gonna go 8. Justin's gonna go 7.5. Justin very well may be right on that. I'd be happy with that at 7.5 though. I'd be happy with that with the 7. Any lower than that, I might get a little like, I don't know about that one. Kirby, one of my favorite cards of the mid 80s, 1985 Donruss Kirby Puckett. Certainly not a gem mint on this one. Centering is pretty beautiful on this one. The side maybe a slight top to bottom one. Corners are super sharp, except for maybe the top left corner there has the slightest of dings. But I'm thinking this is coming in right at I want to say 8, but I'm going to go 7.5 on this.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I think I might be up there in the 8 range.
The 8 range? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 7. We're flopping on this one. I'm going to go 7.5. Justin's going to go 8. 1986 Topps football, folks. I just picked this one up. I really like this one a lot. Sorry, there's a little hair fuzz on my, little static electricity is attracting little fuzz and stuff on that. So it's not on the cards. Now there's that stuff on the surface. I'm trying to clean that off as best I can there, but let me readjust. There we go. 1986 Topps Reggie White. Really beautiful centering on that. Really sharp corners, except for maybe the top left one ever so slightly. But I'm looking at an 8 on this. What do you think?
The Minister of Defense? He
Minister
looks
of Defense.
Unbelievable. I want to say a 9.
You want to say a 9? All right. Justin's going out there, folks. Justin's going for the 9. I'm going for an 8.
That card.
It's a sharp card. It very well could be a 9. But I just don't want to get burned. 1987 Donruss, Mark McGuire, folks. I have a bunch of these in my collection. That is not a Nick. This is super sharp. The centering is spot on this one. I'm thinking this is a 9. But Justin, what do you think?
Yeah, I think a 9 as well. Looks really good. Great centering. Doesn't seem to have any issues, really.
Don't see any surface issues on this.
They do give 10s.
You think it could get a 10? I'd love that at a 10.
I mean, what's wrong with it? Maybe the corner is slight. Like, I don't know. I'll say a 9.
I think we're both going to agree that that's a 9. So we will both hedge our bets on 9. And finally, folks, 1990 Fleer. I just wanted to submit one of these because I'd love to have one of these in SGC holder. Not a ton of money on this card, obviously, but it's one of my favorite Michael Jordan cards of all time. The 1990 Fleer, Michael Jordan. It's hard to argue that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, the centering maybe a millimeter off left to right. Top to bottom looks solid, though. The back looks gorgeous. I don't see anything wrong with that. Outside shot at a 10, but I don't know. What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, you're in the realm there. I think you could get a 10 for sure, and that's one of the cooler Jordan cards in dunking. I'm gonna say a 9 again just to be safe.
I think 9. I'm gonna agree with as well. And actually, yeah. Even though there's an outside shot at a 10, I just feel like there's so many of these graded that people get 9s on these all the time. I'm gonna go 8.5 just so I can be surprised, maybe.
There you go.
8.5 for me. Justin says 9. And there we go, folks. Those are our mid to high grade. Just as a recap, we'll go backwards this time. The Jordan, 8.5 for me, 9 for Justin. We both agree 9 on the McGuire. I say 8. Justin says 9 on the Minister of Defense, Reggie White. The Kirby, I say 7.5. Justin says 8. The Valenzuela, I say 8. Justin says 7.5. The Kareem, I say 5.5. Justin is at a 6. The OJ, I say a 7. Justin says 6. I really think that's a 7. I think I'm going to right on that one. The Brooks Robinson, I say a 6. Justin says 5.5. He might be right, because that corner might be enough to ding it. The 69 Mays, I say 6. Justin says 5.5. The Stargell, Justin likes it at a 7. I like it at a 6.5. The Gibson, I think, is a solid 7. Could even be higher. Justin says 6.5. And the 59 Robinson, we both think is an SGC 5. There we go, folks. Those are our mid to high grade submissions. I'm pretty excited to send these off with the other batch that we're going to send off. And then when we get them back, we'll reconvene and figure out how far off we were, or if we're spot on, or, we've had pretty good luck in the past. We've been surprised in the past. We've gotten as high as a 9.5 on some cards that we thought were going to be like 7s or 8s. So we'll see. Haven't gotten any 10s from your submissions yet. Could this be the time? Who knows?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Although I doubt it. I doubt any of these are 10s, but well, yeah, you never know. You never know. Sometimes you're surprised. Folks, leave a comment below. Tell me what your favorite card of these are, and give this video a like. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we'd love to have you a part of the Blast from the Past family. And yeah, we're doing cool videos like this all the time. Excited to see what these come back in. We'll have Justin back, and we'll go over the results. Give us about a month or so. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Take care, everybody.